Yai, dai, 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 dai. Hi, yai, 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 dai, dai, dai. Hi, yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, lai, lai. Welcome, everybody. Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova. I'm Rabbi Judi from Newbridge, and this is Cantor Lisa Kippen-Hershenson, and we are so happy to be with you this Rosh Hashanah. And this is the 6th time that Cantor Lisa has led services here at Newbridge, and it is a great blessing for all of us. The plan for this evening is we're going to begin with lighting the Shabbat and holiday candles, saying Shechecheyanu, and then we will bring our digital screen into view, and we'll start with our Machzor, our holiday service prayer book, on the screen as well as us. So that's what's in store. I would like to beg your indulgence in advance because we've all been on a very steep learning curve with technology, and it is our hope, and we actually think it's possible, that this will run smoothly, but please forgive us if there's a glitch, okay? Good. So now, Hadlakat Neirot for holiday and Shabbat. You know the tune. Join me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehalif ner, shel Shabbat v'shel Yom Tov. And we say, Amen. And now, Shehecheyanu, the prayer giving thanks that we have lived to be together to celebrate today this special occasion. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Ay, 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 lai, 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 ay, lai, lai, lai. So welcome to our holiday Machzor, our prayer book, which is digital, and we are going to now move to our first slide, which we've done the candle lighting, we've done Shehecheyanu, and now Psalm 92. It appears in your Machzor, if you have one, on page 14, but don't worry, I will read it to you if you don't have one. I also want to add, for those who do have a prayer book that provided by us, at the bottom of several of the screens, you'll see a little number, like here, 14, that refers you to the correct page in the Newbridge Machzor. So, the reason we're reading Psalm 92 is because it is the psalm for the Sabbath day. And although we are quite excited about Rosh Hashanah, it also is Shabbat, and we never forget that. So please join in if you have the words. A psalm, a song for the Sabbath day. It is good to give thanks to the Eternal, to chant psalms to your name, Most High, to tell of your loving kindness in the morning and of your faithfulness at night. Upon the 10-stringed lyre and lute, with voice and harp together. For I have rejoiced in your works, Eternal One. I exult in what you have wrought. How great are your deeds, Eternal One. How profound your designs. A coarse person does not know, nor can the shallow understand, that when the wicked sprout like grass, and evildoers flourish, they may then be cut down forever. But you are exalted for all time. Surely your enemies, Eternal One, surely your enemies shall perish. All evildoers shall be scattered. You strengthen me like the wild ox. I am refreshed with anointing oil. I shall see the defeat of my foes, of those who rise to harm me. I shall hear of their demise. The righteous will flourish like palm trees and thrive like the cedars of Lebanon. Planted in the house of the Eternal, in the courts of our God, they will blossom. Even in old age will they be fruitful, remaining fertile and fresh, attesting that the Eternal is upright, my rock, in whom there is no wrong. And now let's move to the Mariv service, and we'll read together this reading, which comes from page 2 in the Machzor. Please join me in reading the English. Eternal God, as the new year begins, we have come together to pray as a congregation, yet each of us is strangely solitary in your presence. Each of us comes before you with special hopes and dreams. Each of us has personal worries and concerns. Each of us has a prayer no one else can utter. Each of us brings praise no one else can offer. Each of us feels a joy no one else can share. Each of us has regrets which others cannot know. And so we pray. If we are weary, give us strength. If we are discouraged, give us hope. If we have forgotten how to pray, remind us. If we have been careless of time, forgive us. If our hearts have been chilled by indifference, warm them with your mercy and inspire us with the glowing spirit of this holy night. So we're ready to go forward with the Baruch Hu, the call to worship. This is a time where you may wish to rise in body or certainly in spirit as Cantor Lisa calls us to prayer, and we will answer her with the second Baruch on the screen. Go ahead, please.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach.
Let's read together the Ma'ariv Aravim blessing, the blessing about evening time. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your great name fills the universe with majestic might. Your word creates twilight and dusk as your wisdom opens the gates of night. Your discernment separates the changing seasons and causes the passage of time. The stars arrayed across the sky reveal your design. In westering sun and spreading dusk, God of all things, you are made perfect. Eternal, everlasting God, may we ever be aware of your dominion. Beloved are you, O Lord, in this serene hour of nightfall.
El Chai v'Kayam Tamid, Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Adonai, Amariv Aravim.
And now we come to Ahavat Olam. Please join in singing.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amecha Torah Mitzvot Chukim Mishpatim Otanu Limadita Al Ken Adonai Eloheinu V'shochtenu V'kumeinu Nasiach בחוקך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך, לעולם לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגד יומם ולילה, יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך וכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך.
And now we continue with Leman Tizkuru, which is the closure of the third paragraph of the Shema. Please join.
Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem Elohim ani. Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet.
We turn forward in our prayer books to Mi Chamocha, which is pictured beautifully in the slide. It depicts the time when the children of Israel were standing in front of an impassable sea and their enemies were behind them, and it seemed there was no way out. And then the waters parted, and Moses and Miriam sang.
Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh, norot tehilot asefela, malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe. Zaylinu ve'amru Adonai imloch la'olam va'ed. V'ne'amar kifat Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo miyad chazak mimenu, baruch atah Adonai.
And here we come to Hashkivenu. We'll first sing, and afterwards we'll read the prayer.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, ve'hamidenu Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Lishalom, Ve'amidenu Malkeinu Lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Lishalom, Ve'amidenu Malkeinu Lechaim.
And here is the English. Please join me in reading. Give us a place to rest, Adonai. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence is gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Over all we love, over all the world. Blessed are you, God, guardian of Israel. Baruch.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amu Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
And now we come to Vishamru, because after all, it is Friday night, another opportunity to rise in body or in spirit. And please join in singing. We don't have the words on the screen, but hopefully many of you know it and will join in.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
And now we come to the Amidah being a prayer that begins together and then takes some time for silent prayer. Those who have a prayer book or any other words they wish to be reading, there'll be time to do that quietly for a few moments, and there'll also be a text on the screen, and then we'll join together again to sing Shalom Rav. So let's begin with the Amidah.
Adonai sifatai tiftach, ufi agid milatecha. O God, open up my lips, that I may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Emoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. זוכרנו לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים, וכתבנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה.
אתה גיבור,
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו בשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע. מי כמוך אב הרחמים, זוכר יצורו, לחיים, 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 ברחמים. ונאמנת חיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני, לחיי המתים.
And now we continue in silence.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amacha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amacha, Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata melech adon, Lechol HaShalom, Ki ata melech adon, Lechol HaShalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amacha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amacha, Shalomcha, Tasim Leolam, Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai, Oseh HaShalom. V'sefer chaim l'racha v'shalom, u'parnasa tova. Nizacher v'nikatev lefanecha. Anachnu v'chol amecha Beit Yisrael, l'chaim tovim, u'l'shalom.
In 2009, the year Newbridge opened, we prepared for the first Rosh Hashanah with great excitement as we initiated a brand new high holiday experience, different than any of us had ever experienced before. A great deal of creativity was called for as we figured out how to bring together a new congregation when each of us was accustomed to something different. We tried new ideas, hoping to bind a fledgling congregation together. And I think we thrived. Back then, we could never have imagined in our wildest dreams that 11 years later, under less cheerful circumstances, we would once again be seeking to creatively figure out how to convene our well-established congregation using technology as we all participate in high holiday services and meals in our living rooms and dining rooms via TV and computer screens. The theme of my sermons that first year, was longing and belonging. Our new members were adjusting to major life changes, moving to a brand new community. Many longed for their old homes and neighborhoods, their familiar temples, and the sense of belonging that they had had prior to the move. It would take some time to feel that sense of belonging again. In facing this year's High Holiday Challenge, most of us have the advantage of already being part of the Newbridge community. We know our neighbors, and we can imagine them in their homes this evening as we gather together virtually. We draw strength from our sense of belonging, yet the longing is so strong. We long for the space we have come to know as our synagogue, expanded and full with friends and family, welcoming the new year together in prayer and song and festive meals. We have grown weary of this new normal as we long for the old normal. We long and pray for a new beginning, for a year in which the challenges of aging are not compounded by a pandemic, for a year in which glaring racial inequities no longer threaten the fabric of our society. Most years, it can be difficult to coax ourselves into the primary task of Rosh Hashanah, the introspection necessary for teshuvah, returning to our values and ideals, returning to our better selves. Not so this year. The pandemic, with its separation and suffering and inequities, prods us to examine ourselves personally and collectively. If the task at hand seems overwhelming, we can take solace in the Talmudic legend, in which it is related that when Moses ascended Mount Sinai to receive the 10 Commandments, the angels objected. They demanded of God, "How can you give this precious gift to lowly humans?" God instructs Moses to respond to the angels. Moses does so with a series of questions, and I'm paraphrasing here. "Angels," he asked, What use have you for God's commandments? Do you have parents to honor? Are you weary from a week of work that you need the Sabbath? Are you tempted to steal and to murder? Won over, the angels concede that humans need these commandments and give Moses their blessings. With this midrash, our tradition embraces our humanity and our fallibility, offering us the gift of teshuvah, the ability to examine our actions, to right our wrongs, and to make changes for the better. Teshuvah, especially during these days of awe, recognizes that while we will never be angels, we can commit to becoming better humans. And yet, as we assess the schisms that threaten our nation at this critical juncture, despondency beckons. In these moments, we can take inspiration from the phrase initiated by Abraham Lincoln in the closing lines of his first inaugural address, when he calls on the better angels of our nature to prevail. Psychologist Hank Davis notes that the phrase, the better angels of our nature, suggests that not all the angels that inspire us are good. Some of those angels may be leading us astray. This insight lies at the heart of teshuvah. During these days of awe, we strive to ascend to our better selves by re-examining the angels that inspired us yesteryear as individuals and as a nation. Today we know that Abraham Lincoln's better angels evolved as his views on slavery matured, even as we today are evolving in our understanding of racism. And so this year, at this season, we return to our places of certainty. We reassess the angels that guided us in the past so that we may emerge from the shadow of this pandemic into a better future, individually, as a community, and as a nation. May we muster new reserves of courage, resilience, empathy, and creativity so that we are all blessed with a sweet, healthy, and much better new year. Shana Tova. We come now to the Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkadash, Yitkadash, Shemeh Rabbah, Mi'alamot Yivrach Eruteh, Yamlich Malchuteh, B'chayechon, V'yomechon, U'b'chayecho Beit Yisrael. Bagalor is man karib yimaror. Yesh merabah mivarach le'olam olameh umayah. Yitbarach, Yitbarach, Yishtabarach. Mitpa'ar, mitroma, mitnaseh, mitadar, mitalai, mitala, shmeir kuresha, brichu, leila, leila, min kol mirchata v'shirata, tus bechata, Dom yaron
Amen.
Yehesh nerava, yehesh lama rava min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu v'yako Yisrael, v'imru amen.
And now we come to the Aleinu. And I'm going to open our ark for the Aleinu. Let's get the prayer in place.
Aleinu l'shabach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula l'yotzer breshit, shelo asanu ki goyei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol amonam, v'nachnu korim, Mishtachavim umonim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu noteh shemayim v'yoser haaretz u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mimal u'shchinatu zo v'govei meromim Hu Eloheinu Einod Emet Malkeinu Efesulato Kokoto Betorato Biadata Hayom V'Hashevota El Levavecha Ki Adonai Hu Elohim Hashamayim Mimal Ve'aretz mitachat einod. Kakatu b'toratecha Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed v'nemar v'haya Adonai L'melech al kol haaretz, vayom hahu, yihya Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
And now we come to the Mourner's Kaddish. I invite anyone who has a yortzeit or who is saying Kaddish or just even thinking of a loved one who we wish were by our side right now, but won't be. We rise and remember them with blessing. May their memories bring us comfort and blessing. Please join if you desire. Kadal v'tkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon, u'v'chayeh dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ulmei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha le'ela u'le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran ve'alma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya v'chayim tovim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. And now Psalm 27, which is on page 65. I'm going to read it from the middle point. It actually begins on 64, but it's a long psalm, so I'm going to read from the middle. And this is a psalm that's been recited since the beginning of this prior month of Elul. Now we are entering Tishrei of 5081, as we are this evening on the brink between an old year and a new. And we will continue reading this psalm daily till the end of Sukkot. Hear my voice, Eternal One, when I call. Be gracious and answer me. It is you I seek, my heart says. I seek your presence, Eternal One, Do not hide your presence from me. Do not turn away from me in anger. You have ever been my help. Do not spurn or abandon me, my God of deliverance. Though my mother and father abandon me, the Eternal One will take me in. Teach me, Eternal One, your ways. Guide me in the path of integrity, that I may overcome my foe. Do not give me over to my enemy, for false witnesses arise against me, those who testify viciously. So I trusted to see the goodness of the Eternal in the land of the living. Trust in the Eternal. Be strong and of good courage, and trust in the Eternal. And now let us read together a closing prayer for the new year. Please read with me. Our God and God of all generations before us, may it be your will in the coming year to grant us a year of abundance and atonement, a year of mitzvot and moments of sweetness, a year of nature protected and enjoyed, a year of optimism and hope, a year of peace pursued with perseverance. Indeed, may it be so. And now we come to Adon Olam. It's on page 66 in your book, but we have it right here.
Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra li'ed nasa v'chetza kol azai melech shemo nikra azai melech shemo nikra v'acharei kichlot hakol Levado imloch nora vehu haya vehu ove vehu yeh batifara vehu yeh batifara vehu echad v'ein sheni leham shilo lehachbira Beli Reishit, Beli Tachlit, Elohos, Behamisra, Elohos, Behamisra, Behu Eli, Bechai Goali, Betzur Chemli, Bietzara, Behu Nisi, Umanosli, Menat kosi v'yom ekra, Menat kosi v'yom ekra, V'yado akid ruchi, V'eti shan v'yahira, V'im ruchi geviati, Adonai li Elohira,
Good Yantiv, Shana Tova, everybody. We have concluded the davening part of our service. I want to thank Cantor Lisa for her beautiful davening that led us through the service. I hope that all of you found the Siddur, the Machzor, the prayer book on the screen to be adequate and perhaps even fabulous. Please do forgive us for the parts that were perhaps a little choppy, but we're learning and we'll keep getting better at it. So we're now going to have Kiddush and apples and honey. And we will meet you again tomorrow at 10 o'clock for our first day of Rosh Hashanah services with Cantor Lisa, Rabbi Karen Landy, and myself.
Thank you. Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei puri agafen.
Amen.
Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher bachar banu mikol am, V'romamanu mikol hashon, V'kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה את יום השבת הזה ואת יום הזיכרון הזה, יום זיכרון תרועה באהבה מקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת, לעבודתך מכל העמים, ודברך אמת וקיים לעד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך על כל הארץ, מקדש השבת בישראל ויום הזיכרון.
Amen.
לחיים.
And now, Cantalisa has apples and honey to dip in honey and share and make a blessing. And we wish you the sweetness that comes with the symbol of apples and honey.
יהי רצון מלפניך אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, שתחדש עלינו שנה טובה ומתוקה.
Amen.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הארץ. Amen.
Amen. B'te'avon. It's been a pleasure to bring in the holiday with you, and I'm sure I'm speaking for both of us when I say that we're looking forward to spending the rest of Rosh Hashanah services together and then again for Yom Kippur. But in the meanwhile, I wish you b'te'avon for your holiday dinner. Bon appetit. I hope that you will have a festive and enjoyable Shabbat and holiday dinner, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Shana Tova.